So I'm totally excited about my KitchenAid Stand Mixer. So we went ahead on Amazon and got the top 5 most popular products. We're gonna go in the kitchen, take them out of the boxes, cook some stuff up and see if they're all worth it. Let us know in the comments which of the KitchenAid Stand Mixer attachments you've used and what you thought of them, which ones you liked, which ones you didn't like, and we'll try to come to a conclusion.
There will be links to all of these products in the description of this video. They are affiliate links, so we do earn a small commission and it goes to help support the channel and other items that we get to feature. This is the KitchenAid Meat Grinder. Inside the box you'll find many pieces that you have to assemble. That will take a couple minutes. We're going to get it put together here and then we're going to go ahead and grind up some ribeye steaks with the KitchenAid Meat Grinder to make some ground beef for some hamburgers, maybe some lasagna. So we're going to start off by the ribeye steaks. They're in the freezer a little bit too long, so we're just going to go ahead and cut them up and find another use for them. So let's go ahead and get them in the grinder. So you turn your grinder on to medium speed and put your meat right through the top. There's the hole in the KitchenAid Meat Grinder. You just kind of push your meat through and it starts to grind. There are a few grind settings. This is the wide grind setting, and quite frankly this is pretty easy to use once you get all the pieces put together. That's how the meat comes out after it's ground. It's nice, fresh, delicious. So looking forward overall, the meat grinder is easy to assemble, easy to use, and you get out delicious ground beef or whatever you choose to put inside the grinder that comes out like this. This is the end product. So now let's go ahead and get it put together and make some hamburgers. This is the KitchenAid Pasta Roller pasta cutter set to use with the KitchenAid Stand Mixer. In the box you'll find 3 different attachments. 2 of them are cutters, one for fettuccine, one for spaghetti, and then one for just rolling flat pasta. So the one we're going to use mostly today is the one for flat pasta. We're going to make some lasagna. So first we got to attach it to the mixer. It's just one easy snap-on piece. Take your little screw it in. We made some quick pasta dough out of flour and egg. Then you just start running it through. You have to run it through it a couple different times at a couple different thickness settings. Then eventually you'll get your pasta nice and thin. Now at this point you can either use it to put through the cutters, which are the spaghetti or the fettuccine, or just cut it into strips that are a good length for your lasagna. But let's go ahead and make some fettuccine out of one just to see how it comes out. Now it comes out nice and cleanly cut and it's ready to cook. So like I said, we're making lasagna, so let's get our noodles ready, get them in our lasagna pan, get that in the oven, and hopefully we get to enjoy some delicious lasagna. This is the KitchenAid fruit and vegetable strainer. Before you use it, you have to already have attached your fruit and vegetable grinder. It's an attachable for the KitchenAid food grinder. So you have to go ahead and attach the food grinder, then put these pieces together to get your strainer on. Now it does take a couple extra minutes, but the results are going to be wonderful when you get this thing all set up. Now we're going to have to go ahead and attach the splash shield once we get that on nice and tight, because this is going to make a whole lot of juice from these tomatoes. Now that I have it set up, turn it on to medium speed, and then we're going to go ahead and start adding our tomatoes. We're making a pasta sauce today, but when you see the consistency of how this comes out, you can use it for a nice tomato soup. Just got to use the little mallet, press it through. It separates your juice or your puree from the stuff you don't want, the chunky bits. So let's go ahead and take a look at our tomato puree we're going to use for our sauce. And actually probably make a pretty good soup. So using the KitchenAid Arson series and the KitchenAid juicer, this is what it comes out like. This is the KitchenAid food grinder attachment. It does take a little work to put it all together. You have a couple different sizes of grinding devices to put in there, so you pick that, get it all together. We're going to grind up some pork to make some meatballs for an Italian dinner we're having. So you want to turn it on like a medium speed, and then all you have to do is start putting in your pork. So you take it, it has to be a size that fits in the top of the hole, so you just got to kind of push it in there. And then magically it'll come out the other end in this nice ground pork. I don't really like buying store-bought pork just because you don't really know how long it's been ground, and the more air it gets to, the more bacteria can get in there. So you're just gonna cut into slices, and it's gonna come out like this. And before you know it, you're gonna have enough for meatballs. So let's go ahead and take a look at our final product. We turned 1 pound of pork into this giant plate full of ground pork using the KitchenAid Fresh Prep Slicer and the KitchenAid Stand Mixer. Now, setting up the KitchenAid Ice Cream Maker is actually pretty simple. There's only 3 pieces in the box, and you just gotta snap the bowl in. You're going to attach a little piece to the bowl, and then the top that goes on the top of the artisan stand mixer. Once it's connected, you're gonna dump in your ice cream mixture. We're going for chocolate, but if you can look up a whole bunch of different recipes online to use with the KitchenAid mixer. Then you're going to turn it on, use number 2, get started nice and slow. Then you got to wait about 20 minutes of churning until your ice cream starts to look a little bit like this. Now it is kind of cool that the KitchenAid Ice Cream Maker, the ice cream does get bigger as you go. It's starting to look like it's done. So let's go ahead and check out how our chocolate ice cream came out. Go ahead and take a look at that. Give it a little taste test, and it's good. This is the KitchenAid Fresh Prep Slicer Shredder Attachment. Now, it's pretty easy to put in. It only comes in a couple pieces and 3 different grading attachments. So today we're going to go ahead and grate up a whole bunch of cheese with our KitchenAid Artisan Series stand mixer. We're making lasagna, we need a whole bunch of cheese, and we know that it's much more affordable to shred your own cheese than it is to buy it from the store. So this is how it comes out. You just take the cheese, put it in the top, press it down, and end up fresh grated mozzarella cheese. So let's go ahead and see how that cheese looks. First, we're going to need a little bit more cheese ground. You got to make sure this little attachment slides in right, or to make sure it's a little safety feature, has little grooves to make sure it doesn't fall down too far and hit the shredding device itself. So that being said, let's get our final cheese in there. Looks like we got enough for lasagna, maybe a little extra for something else. And let's check out how we did. So let's take a look at the cheese. A little more stuck inside. And there we go. We got a whole bunch of shredded cheese with the KitchenAid shredder.